the table. Nice into 15. Oh, and very late.
track for the 400 and the last air. Is finished. It's 5 minutes to start. 5 minutes to start the competition.
Yeah.
Lillehammer in Norway, and the second race of a double four-man weekend here as the final act in this third weekend of the IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us wherever you've come from. Martin Haven, and delighted to have alongside me yesterday's monobob silver medalist Katty Bile, ready to watch the action down this track. Now, this is one of the shortest tracks in the business, just 1,300 meters. It's hard to make speed here, and it's even harder, I think, to keep it.
Yeah, the track is not allowing any mistakes. So you would see another close race today, as you've seen two close races yesterday, one today. So there is no room for mistakes.
Now, everybody's running it really long at the start. We've seen a lot of athletes struggle to get into the sled, so hopefully that'll be clean today.
Yeah, let's hope, but it's a steep start, so you have to run a far distance, but then hop in super quickly to also be able to steer correctly into one.
And this top labyrinth out of corner 5, you can give speed away between 4 and 5, but the labyrinth is really part of the key. 6, 7 here is an important transition.
Yeah, you should not get too early on to 7. The speed would be gone if you do so. And then from now on you can just let it fly.
Apparently so. Maybe not in a four-man. I think maybe a little bit more control with the weight of these big machines. So out of corner 10, again, tricky sequence down from 13 to 14. Easy to skid speed away there.
Exactly, Martin. But there's an option. You try straight and risk to skid, or you just take the hit and hope that it sets you straight.
Yeah, easier to take the hit sometimes because it's almost guaranteed to happen anyway. All right, so we're expecting another tight race. Lots of dead heats in the first and second heat, very probably. Air temperature hovering around 4 degrees, ice -2. It's not super cold and super hard. Now, previously, we've raced here end of January and in February, where the ice has been very much harder. But even in training, it was nearly track record speed.
Yeah, it was a bit colder than it is now, and there was no mist in the air. So now it's a bit cloudy, there's humidity, the track's decreasing a bit, but that's like, we're outdoor sports. And in training we were really flying, especially on Tuesday. And like you said, yeah, last year it was really cold, I think -18 degrees Celsius.
And sun.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Haven't seen much of the sun this week. So the track crews have been out between the women's race and the four-man. They've been down and spritzed the track. They've shaved it, and they've been back down and spritzed it again. So plenty of time for track prep. But on a mild and misty day, how much is the track going to hold up? Well, we'll find out, I guess, as we get to the end of our second heat, where the fastest sliders will be the last to go. We'll see what speed still remains. So 26 sleds in the heat. First off, random start draw for the top 3 spots are from outside of the top 20 in the World Cup rankings. So a little bit of early ice for them. Johannes Lochner gets a good draw off at 4, and his arch rival Francesco Friedrich only 12th in the starting order. So we'll wait and see what that brings. Race 4 of the IBSF four-man Bobsleigh World Cup. First up here in the second four-man race in Lillehammer, Renars Grantins. Laurens Kaufmannis joins him with Jacob's calendar yesterday. Ungas Edgars in at 2 on the sled yesterday. So a little bit of a change around, some of the brakemen swapping between different sleds and changing positions. Everybody's using this double weekend as a chance to sort of try new things.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you the chance to try out the teams, which is especially important in this Olympic season. And Renars Grantins was having a really good second run yesterday.
Yeah, really impressive. Only his 4th World Cup, a rookie this season.
Also, this run looks super clean on the top.
Well, he has the advantage of this freshly spritzed ice, so it's like a polished floor. Running as quick as anything. The problem with that, of course, is that it might be even quicker than he experienced yesterday, so you've got to adapt to that.
The good point is that the track, when it's that high in temperatures, is easier to steer. If it's -18, then it's crazy hard to get into the ice.
Well, that's the thing that always amazes me. The colder the ice, the smaller the contact patch you use because it reduces friction, which means the colder the ice, the faster the ice, the less steering effect you have.
Exactly, yeah. And then it gets dangerous. And if you have corners that you really have to steer off, it can be tricky.
All right, so 50.21. A clever man would have had yesterday's timesheets ready to see what he did yesterday. Let's see what he did.
I also did not look it up, I'm sorry.
In his second heat, his first heat was a 50.5, his second was a 50.09, so he's sort of halfway between them. Quicker than his first run yesterday, not quite as quick as his second. Next up is Jakub Zareski of Poland, Sosna Severin, Mikhail Jakubczyk, and Paweł Sarnecki. They were the same guys on the sled. And you can tell the size of the team if there have been changes or if they haven't. Usually tells you how many spare brakemen there are.
Exactly.
For the guys at the gym yesterday, there's a pay-as-you-go gym by our hotel with a pizza house opposite. I know, Bobsleigh haven't, right?
They started at 5:10. Pizza affected or not?
I don't know. I'm not sure what came first, the gym or the pizza. Nice smooth run from 4 to 5. Looks like the four-man is a little easier to control, despite all of that extra weight.
It is. The more weight you have, the more you can get control, especially when there is no pressure. But we saw some foremen also struggle yesterday in between 4 and 5. Also, he is having a loose run here.
Yeah. And some of these corners are very short for a four-man, on and off, almost before you've realised you've got onto it.
You could save it pretty well in the 13.
Now, these first three sleds are outside the top 10 in World Cup rankings, outside the top 20 in World Cup rankings. So these are the guys, or some of the guys, who might be struggling to make a second heat. 26 sleds, only the fastest 20 go through. Severin Sosna there looking pretty happy with their start.
Yeah, these three sleds for sure get an advantage over the other ones trying to qualify, because the ice will be faster than it is after the 20 sleds.
Little skid, and again, a little maybe late on there. That gives you the big height.
In the two-man and in the monobob, that line would have worked, but in the four-man, there's too much pressure at the end, so you need to steer it a bit more.
And going down into 13, sleds turning right, corners going left. That's obviously slowing you down, but the boys are happy with that. So at the moment, it is Renas Grantins of Latvia with the fastest time. Next, Jeff Gabwa of the USA. Kenton Arello in for Hakeem Abdul-Sabur. This is his third four-man World Cup, Kenton, at 2. Boone Niederhofer in replacing Ryan Rager. And Bryce Cheek at 4, as he was yesterday. So again, swapping in a couple of different brakemen.
Yeah, Jeff just made the cut yesterday as 20th sled. Let's see how he does today.
In fact, that was the first time he's made the cut this season. He'll be looking to do the same, 5.09. And one of the advantages of driving four-man yesterday instead of two-man is that you can learn what you can change for the four-man again today.
Exactly. If it's going good, it's amazing to go again. If it's going bad, then it's not the nicest thing. But you have another chance, a fresh day.
Yeah, Jeff Gabwa might not need that, but Frank Del Duca definitely does need a better day at the office today. Third best speeds are not quite as quick as the two previous sleds. Ooh. Yeah. Little loose in 13.
Also, that sound a bit like rattling noises.
Yep. Well, that happens occasionally. Sleds have a very different sound, some of them. 50.64, so 300s ahead of Zareski of Poland. So that's one of the 6 sleds behind him that he needs to make sure that he qualifies for the second heat. 5.09. So 5.09 start. It's so hard sometimes, these transitions. In slow motion, it's so easy. But when you're doing 110, 120 kilometers an hour, it's off on straight like that. It's so fast.
Especially in that transition 12-13. When you walk the track, it looks like there is enough space, but when you slide through it, it's so fast, there is no room to decide what to do.
Now then, with Johannes Lochner, Torsten Margis, debutant Oliver Pesch, and Georg Fleischauer on the back of the sled. So Pesch making his World Cup debut. They start 4.88.
Which is faster than they did yesterday.
So yesterday's gold medalists.
And that was a nice exit out of 3.
Oliver Pesch raced in the junior circles for a couple of seasons up to 2023, disappeared and then returned last year in the World Championships.
You can even see Hansi skidding a bit in the labyrinth.
Well, I think it was clear yesterday that these sleds are a bit big and a bit fast for the track.
And he's having a skid out of 13 as well, but still having the speed in the sled.
1:34.6, 83.6 miles an hour down at the bottom of the track. 49.80. Can look at my timesheets.
I don't want to say, you for sure tell me what he went yesterday.
Go on then, let's have a look. So Lochner's first heat was a 49.81 and his second was a 50.07, and he's just done a 49.80. So that's his fastest run of the three.
By 100th.
By 100th.
We can see these four men pushing that sled. Kind of impressive how they managed to get in with four people that quickly.
492 push in the second heat yesterday and a 489 in the first. So again, milder conditions mean it's not so frosty at the start. They're going just a tiny fraction quicker. Yeah. Of course, new boy Oliver Peschke will say, hey, that was me.
Yeah, we just saw Torsten's race suit ripped.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of Torsten to fit into not a lot of suits, isn't there? Next up, Brad Hall of Great Britain, Ben Simons, Liam Greenwood and Greg Cackett. So this is exactly the team that raced yesterday. Lots of friends and family here.
Yeah, we see the British flags at the start.
Big push, big push.
There you go. Good thinking, big push. Let's see what they got. 5 dead. Okay, so 488, they're 1200s off Lochner and his crew. Brad Hall and Hansi Lochner, good friends. Brad used to spend a lot of time in Bavaria during the summer.
He just sees runners correcting out of 3, so he avoided a skid there.
He needs to be not much further than 2/10 away from Lochner to be in with a shout of a top 6 finish. But the gap is opening up. Second best speed, but we still got 2 German sleds, Austrians, top Americans to come.
There was a lot of steering into 13.
Not sure he's particularly feeling the love for Lillehammer. 50.12.
But assuming how far he was behind at the start, that's a pretty good downtime for the British team.
So let's compare. It's hard to compare because the track conditions are different and so on, da-da-da. 50.07 and a 53.1 yesterday, so 50.12. Not quite as quick as his first heat in yesterday's four-man.
Yeah, that steer that we just saw into 13, when you get a bad entrance into it, then you have to steer a lot and it's costing you kilometers an hour for the last 2 curves.
Yep. Ben Simons there at 2, his 48th World Cup, his second in his second career as a brakeman, having retired 20 years ago. Johannes Lochner-Lees from Brad Hall and Renas Grantins 4/10 back. Next up for the USA, Chris Horn, Carsten Vissring, Hunter Powell, Caleb Furnell. It's the same foursome as yesterday, and I think Chris Horn is figuring, okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're happy with what they had. And Horn, although he's a relatively new driver to the World Cup, we know how fast he is on the push bar.
493, as you said, Mark. And he just came into the circuit and he's flying.
Yeah. Yeah, he really is. Again, former push athlete, as so many drivers are these days.
I think he's even push world champion.
2 times, 2 and 4-man, yeah. Turned up in Lake Placid, won the 2 golds, took the $20,000, went on holiday. It was quite an impressive performance the first time we met him.
That's how you do.
Yeah, pretty skiddy though. Tail of the sled is not following the nose.
He really saved that 13.
But to do that, you got to wrestle the sled off the corner, and that means that's costing you speed as well. Still third at the line. I mean, it was pretty wild, but it was fast. 500s behind Brad Hall. Chris Horn only in his 5th World Cup as a driver. So in the last Olympic cycle up to Beijing, he was a brakeman. And now, I mean, trying to assert himself as one of the US's Olympic hopefuls.
Here we can see a big wave in 10.
Again, you see the bodies move as the sled touches back down again, so there's some air time there.
And there is the save out of 13. That exit was pretty decent regarding his entrance into that curve.
He'd done the steering by the apex there and allowed it to come out. I think Chris Horn is probably quite a good pupil for coaches. Kim Jin-soo of Korea, and again an unchanged crew. Kim Sun-wook, Chae Byung-do and Lee Gyeon-yu. And Chae the brakeman returning after 5 years away from the sports this season.
Maybe he saw the potential of the pilot Kim, because he was rocking already in the races this year.
Yeah, they were brakemen together in the 2018-19 season. And then I'm guessing that Chae went away to study.
We just saw our first real skid out of 4 into 5. And quite early onto 7.
6 is a strange quarter because it looks like it's really only 2 pressures, but it's more, isn't it?
Yeah, you have 3 steering points. Also, it's super hard because in training it's always closed. And in the race it's open, and then you see more, but it's also different.
Quite a lot of late exits. Track is coming at him a little faster than he was ready for. 50.27, so a tenth slower than Chris Horn. And he's only 600s behind Renos Grantins. There's a big separation between him in 5th and Jeff Gadbois in 6th place, 0.4 of a second. So a lot of room means a lot of sleds will probably be in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that gap will be filled with sleds. And there was a really late exit out of 10, so he had to steer already in 11 to get it over into 12.
12-13, he's rubbing down both walls. Never good.
But there is room to improve for the second run.
There you go. Yeah, if it's perfect, then it's hard to polish, isn't it?
Yeah, that was my situation.
All right, next up, Adam Amor. And again, a change to the crew. Costa Lawrence on the back. He's in for Alex Schaller, who's moved over to Francesco Friedrich's crew. Issam Amor, Joshua Tasher on the sled yesterday that drove to the bronze medal.
Yeah, Costa, the husband of Kim Kalicki, and she told me this is a really important race for him for the Olympic qualifications.
5 dead starts. At least Adam got in this time. He was one of loads of drivers who had trouble getting into the sled yesterday.
But it was 1,100 slower than yesterday. I think he had got an 89.
Maybe they just ran it a couple of steps shorter just so he could get in and make sure he got both legs in the sled. Only one isn't quite enough. Second best speed though.
Well, he already nearly 3/10 back. Now he's 3/10 back.
Now, top speed, quicker even than Lochner. And clean off 13. So can he bring the gap down at all? 3/10 back is going to leave him in second place, 2800s, 400s ahead of Brad Hall. We still have Francesco Friedrich to go. So imagine we may well get a German top 3 after the first heat.
But Brad Hall's close. If he can improve his start, maybe to get a few couple hundreds, that will be interesting.
Yeah, Brad has had 3 bronze medals in 4 races on this track.
But he seems to struggle a bit this year, especially with start times.
Yeah. I'm not sure there are very many fit people in the British team at the moment. They're all recovering from one injury or another.
As long as they're recovered till the games.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, what we're doing now, yes, we're racing for gold medals and World Cups and everything else, but it's the points that decide where you start in Cortina. That's the key issue. And, of course, figuring out who the crew are most likely to be. Next up, Mickey Vogt. Changes here. Pascal Moser in at 2 for Dominic Hufschmidt. Dominic Schlepfer in for Andreas Haas at 3. And Amadou Ndiaye on the back. Made his debut here in the race in 2025, in February, at the beginning of this year. And they took a bronze medal. And they weren't close to bronze yesterday, a 5th place finish.
5:02 at the start.
All right, a couple of hundreds behind Adam Amor, and that was enough to put Amor into 3rd place. So he should be in there swinging with Brad Hall. They're both of a similar pace.
Yeah, and Mickey is known to let the sled fly and gain some speed throughout the whole track. But not with these lines.
Ooh. And there's the problem, you know, you skid onto one corner, you're skidding off it.
Exactly.
Fourth best speed, but he's already back out to 7th place behind Kim of Korea.
Who had a really loose run.
Across the line, it is 7th, half a second back.
He'll not be happy with that.
Now, there's one thing letting it fly, and there's another skidding in and off corners.
Yeah, Lillehammer, that's also what makes it special to other tracks. You have to be really on point throughout the labyrinth and then need to let it fly at the bottom section.
Yeah. And here you go. This is the 6-7 transition. And just carrying that pressure a little late off 6 and skidding into 7. That means you skid out.
Even got out a bit, you could see.
Yeah, that's often a sign of how hard the brakeman's helmet is hitting the side of the cowl if it bounces the push bar out. Again, on to 13. You see all the ice being thrown up by the runners. That's not a smooth transition. So Hansi Lochner leads from Adaman Moore, and we are 9 sleds in. Our 10th starter, Patrick Baumgartner of Italy. And this is the same foursome as yesterday. So Eric Fantazzini, Robert Masia, and Lorenzo Bellotti. And Baumgartner now in his 48th World Cup start. Youth Olympic champion back in 2012, the first boys bobsleigh youth Olympic champion. 5 dead, that's a pretty decent start.
He's also having clean lines on the top so far.
What he's lacked a little over the years has been a really top 5 start, and the Italians have got that now.
They really trained hard regarding the home Olympics. The focus is full on there. I think also Patrick is done after that.
Yep. I don't think you can get many better sporting occasions than a home Olympic Games. Not a bad looking run. 3300's back. 50.13, so how close is he? He's 100th behind Brad Hall and 400ths ahead of Chris Horn. So that is going to be your battle probably for 4th, 5th and 6th, unless there is a drama from Francesco Friedrich.
Yeah, and he'll have good chances for the second run as he started 5 sleds later than Brad Hall, just 100 behind.
Yeah. And started 5 dead. What did Hall's crew get away in? 5 dead as well. So they're in the top half dozen starting crews. And Cortina will be a little more forgiving than Lillehammer. It won't all be about start equals finish, but
it will be about who makes the least mistakes on the top part.
It absolutely will, won't it? Yeah. Okay, for Austria, Marcus Treichel, Sasha Stepan, Diane Nichols Bardi, in for Daniel Berchler at 3, and Leo Sares on the back.
Yeah, Danny Berchler on the side of Jakob Mandelbauer today.
Yep. Again, swapping bodies around, trying to find the perfect fit. Another 5-0 start. And that's been one of the things, again, that Marcus sort of lacked when he was the second Austrian driver behind Benny Maier. He didn't quite have the start. Now he does, and his driving gets a chance to shine.
If he's having to start again like they had in the last at Innsbruck and Cortina races, unfortunately Marcus Sammer got injured, who was always on the sled, but he'll be back. So,
yep. And
also that's a way better run than Marcus Treichel had yesterday.
4th best speed, nice out of 13. That makes it look like 13's never a problem.
Yeah, until you get in trouble, it's easy.
All right, across the line, 50.27. We're starting to really fill up the little gaps in the field, aren't we? 600s behind 6th place Reynolds Grantins, 10th behind Chris Horn. So he's not far away from the top 6.
Grantins got Treichel in yesterday's race, so he will be out for that revenge to catch him in the second run. That's a lovely exit in 13, just a tiny touch on the left wall.
Yeah, and it came off square as well. That's one of the things I noticed, actually. Nobody on that. Sometimes you see a wall and then somebody just gets fired off by a lump of ice that sticks out. The walls here are super smooth. And now we're going to see it immediately. I've just said that, but haven't seen it so far this weekend.
Yeah, they really spritz the ice with a firefighter water pipe.
They're
so
not afraid of the water here, are they?
And the frost is gone with that, so it makes it smooth.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Francesco Friedrich. Alex Schaller is in for Matthias Sommer, and then Alex Schuller and Felix Straub were on the sled yesterday. 99th World Cup start in four-man alone for Friedrich at a 4:93.
So we'll get his 100th in the new year, first race.
Yep. It won't be in Altenburg, but it will be in Winterberg unless he misses a couple, which seems unlikely.
But he's already 1100s behind Hansi.
Yeah, silver medalist yesterday. Second best speed.
The run looks a bit more skiddier than Hansi's, but might also be the track decreasing already.
Top speed now, flying now. Is that enough ice left to close the gap? Didn't have the best 13-14.
And he was early on to 15.
What's the gap at the line? 2200s. He did bring it down at the bottom. Not enough for his liking, I don't think. 50.02. And Hansi Lochner came down in a 49.80. So Friedrich, the second fastest run. A couple of hundreds is a manageable gap. A couple of tenths on this track. Katibal, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Like this 2200s gap, that will be hard to close unless Hansi's making major mistakes.
Well, everything is possible. Again, not as tidy a 13. And out of 14, late and skidding into 15. All right. He may be the greatest bobsledder ever, but nobody is perfect. Johannes Lochner leads from Francesco Friedrich and Adam Amor. Hall, Baumgartner, Horn, and Grantins giving chase. So 10 down, 16 sleds to go. Only room for 10 more in the field. Cedric Follador of Switzerland made the cut yesterday. Nicola Mariani is in at 2, and Omar Fergler celebrating his 10th World Cup start in four-man at 3, with Quentin Juillard on the back. So Livio Matosi made his debut yesterday. Nicola Mariani was, quote, the coach, and now drops in at 2. 5:04.
Yeah, they lose already something at the start, but there is a pack of starters going around these low 5 times.
Yep. And the key then, as no matter how you start, is to keep that speed somehow.
And also it depends on how well the crew gets into the sled to keep that speed that they produce with sprinting going.
Yeah. It's not just the sprint, it's the power that gives you that acceleration. 10th on the splits, 7th best speed.
It looks like a clean run, maybe a bit too much of control.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's just reining the sled in. Has he got slightly narrower runners than some of the quicker sleds? 11th at the line, 50.37.
He just enters the close pack with Dreifer, Kim and Vogt.
Yep. So how far behind Mickey Vogt? 500s back. That's not bad. Only 4 sleds apart as well, so very similar ice conditions, you'd think.
He's a bit falling off of 12 there, so the back end comes and skids into 13. Not too nice for the 4th position.
Yeah. Being on the back, you're a long way from where the sled starts to move around. All right, so Follador watching his run there. He'll have plenty of things that he'll look at tidying up. For Roman Heinrich of France, a change at 2, Niels Blairon. The young sprinter is in for Lionel Lefebvre. Antoine Rieu and Dorian Hauteville were on the sled yesterday as well. A good run yesterday, top 12 finish. He's been 14th, 13th and 12th this year, Roman. Retired a couple of seasons ago, 3 years ago. Came back last year after the French Alps were announced as the venue for the 2030 Winter Games.
And this year he got some push athletes back into his sled, so he's going to get back to his previous results.
Yeah, Antoine Rieu moved back over from Monaco. Oh, little skid, 4 to 5.
And the tap before 5.
Fourth best start. That's the thing they're going to focus on after this run.
But he's just with 14th best speed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that all went away before we got to corner 5, really, didn't it? And again, little flop there.
That was painful.
Now, this is the sled that Justin Cripps took the Olympic bronze medal with in Beijing. Inside, still got little Team Cripps sticker. So Ramos said, no, I'm keeping that. The sled's got history, and it needs to keep that history alive. So it's an Olympic medal-winning sled.
With a lucky sticker.
With a lucky sticker. So we'll have to see how he fares with it. Well, top of the track was not kind, was it?
He was just not finishing the steer off of 4, and then the back end just drops down and skids throughout the whole straightaway.
Yeah. And then you're sideways, you hit the corner rather than drive onto it.
But he was flopping off 12, even though he got a nice entrance into 13 that allowed him to not steer that much.
Yeah.
He's not happy with that.
No. Now then, heartbroken yesterday, Dave Wesseling, the same 4 guys in this sled, they finished 10th. They needed a 9th place finish with 3 Germans ahead of them for one of their 2 top 8 qualifying criteria runs. But it was a really good day. 496, let's see what they can get. Again, they are really starting strongly.
The boys were flying yesterday, especially in the second run. I hope they can continue at the end. They're just a late entrance into 5.
And Wesseling only in his 7th World Cup 4-man race.
And they got Ivo de Bruyn, the former Dutch pilot, as a coach, who is really experienced trying to learn the guys how to get it down. But it was a bit loose in the middle of the track.
Driving the Federation on, Finn Norman, the man behind the Eurotech sled program. Many years with the Canadians and with the Dutch. 8th out to 9th place. 10th place, it's still a good run, just out of 10th, 50.33.
He's just 100 behind the way more experienced Mickey Vogt from Switzerland.
Yeah, I mean, for a driver who's effectively in his second part season of World Cup racing, he's doing really, really well. I'm very impressed with the way that he's improved. First time we really saw him at the top flight was the World Championships in Winterberg, and he's a totally changed driver.
Maybe he can do the same today and go for his top 8.
Oh, they will 100% be going for it. They know it's within their grasp. All right. Yeah, the boys have a lot of faith. I mean, you have to have a lot of faith in your driver, but they really do. Lochner, Friedrich Amor, the top 3. Now we're looking at our 16th starter, China's Sun Kai-chi. Finished 17th yesterday, his worst result in 4 races on this track. Chang Jin, Shi Yaolong, and An Tai, the same 4 who were in the sled yesterday. Yesterday was a bit of an anomaly. 10th, 12th, and 11th, their 3 previous results. So 17th was not where they needed to be, but 497, nothing wrong with the start.
Yeah, they're coached by Damals Draskens, the Latvian former push athlete. So he does a good job there.
Yeah, he knows what makes a fast start.
Bit early on to 7.
5th at the start, already out to 11th on the split times.
There was not that many major mistakes. It's just like here and there, tiny errors.
Now the Dutch will be watching this going, right, just drop back one more. Another behind us is better than another in front. It's going to be close, though, with the Dutch crew.
But they're dropping behind.
Yeah. Okay, by 400s, 50.37 behind the Dutch.
They're in a tie with Cedric Collador.
Oh, there we go. First of our ties.
No, we already have.
Oh, yeah, we already have one for 8th place. Didn't spot that. Kim and Treichel.
The head coach telling them their start time immediately in the finish.
That's all 3 of them care about.
Yeah, and he even did it in Chinese, I think.
Well, not a bad looking run.
A bit of a low line entrance of 15.
Right. Son looks a little bit happy with that run than he did yesterday. Janis Minin's their coach, helping with the sled. Top of the track, Taylor Austin. And again, an unchanged lineup, but in different positions. Shaq Murray-Lawrence still at 2, but Johan Eskrik Parkinson moves from the back handles to 3, and Mike Evelyn moves into position number 4. So, again, just trying to find the way the bodies fit best. Whoa, and Taylor Austin struggled a little getting in.
5:03, a good start time for them.
Yep.
But also, you really have to test it out in races. All these testing in trainings, in push tracks, it's not the real game. You really have to try it in the race.
And that's what happened with Francesco Frigic and Torsten Margis. Margis moved around the sled and eventually ended up, he fitted best at 2 with the other guys behind him. And so you've got to keep doing that.
There's a pretty low line in 10. Keep to get some pressure with him. And Skids there.
Had a good run yesterday, 11th place finish.
He's still in that range.
Yep. 2 11th place finishes in Cortina and yesterday, and just a whisker behind, 100th behind Dave Esselink of the Netherlands. It's going to be some fun in the second heat, isn't there? Lots of very closely packed sleds.
He'll be trying to get from these 11th places into 10th to get into the top 10 draw.
Yep. Now, the only disappointment in his season, real disappointment, was Innsbruck, 24th. They just had a weekend to forget in the 4-man.
Innsbruck, another track where no mistakes are allowed at all. Ooh, not one like this.
Yeah.
But he saved it well.
Yeah, if you take the tap, it almost always comes on straight, which is lucky, because everybody takes the tap. Next up, Timo Rona for Switzerland. Dominik Hufschmidt moves over from Mickey Vogt's crew to join Tim Annan and Mathieu Herzberger. Good race this morning from Deborah Annan, Tim's sister.
Yeah, she got her second race into Olympic qualification from the Swiss.
Yeah, what a good day she had. In and down, 5:11.
So Timo Rona will have a perfect run to be able to stay in the pack of the sleds before him.
18th fastest start, already up to 17th on the split. So he's ahead of Zareski of Poland.
And he had a nice line at the top so far.
I think it does. It's certainly inherited some of his dad's driving skill. Little skid there.
He's already up to 8th best speed.
Swiss sleds do fly, don't they? Clicked up another one, 18th at the start, up to 16th on the splits, back down to 17th, back up to 16th. See how close it is.
It's going back and forth.
Yeah, 15th speed, 16th at the line, 50.58. And that was just, actually 1700s behind Roman Heinrich. I thought it might have been a little closer than that.
And he's not safe for a second run by now.
No, he's only got 2 sleds behind him. Dominik Zareski of Poland and Jeff Gabwa are 17th and 18th. They're the ones in the danger zone at the moment. Rona 2.
The sled flops up there a bit. And here we cannot see a lot of 4-man going there perfectly because it's just such a short straightway.
Yep. Big enough to get a moose in, but quite hard to get a 4-man down straight. So it's known as the moose straight here because, yeah, moose get in at the Damen start. They're not brave enough to go from the top.
Good that they're not on runners.
Yeah, well, probably right. Next up, Jekob's calendar of Latvia. Mats Mignes, Ans Bebris, and Maris Klaver, the crew. Klaver was on Renos Grantin's sled on the back handles yesterday. Mats Mignes moves forward from 4 to 2 as this crew too swaps around the bodies, trying to find the best fit.
the Latvians known for their fast starting, prove it again with a 4.96.
They start fast and they stay healthy somehow as well. Mats Miknes in his 66th four-man World Cup start as a brakeman.
There's a lot of pilots that even have that count.
100%. All right, fourth at the start, but the back of the sled is not behaving.
Yeah, the goal is always that your back runners follow your front runners, because then it's fast.
You can see in almost every transition, the back is moving around, and that's dragging you backwards. 50.47. All right, quickly we've just seen from Tino Rona by 1100s. That still only leaves him in 16th out of 19 sleds. So again, not necessarily safe. Should be, but not guaranteed.
It's surprising that the rookie Latvian Grantins is on 7th position, whereas the calendar is on 16th now.
Well, he was ahead of him in the first heat yesterday as well. And again, calendar will look at the later start draw and go, well, if I'd started second, third, whatever, then I would have had another couple of tenths, and suddenly that throws you way up the order.
Probably. That was a straight line out of 13, though.
Yep. Doesn't look happy, does he? Pat Norton with Shane Ort at 2, and Lucas Stoikos moving to the back of the sled. Mark Zanet remains in the middle. So again, same 4 guys, just in slightly different order.
Yeah, Pat was really happy with his yesterday's result.
Yep.
I saw on Instagram.
9th and 11th, the 2 Canadians. I mean, you've got to like that. They do not spend a lot of time on this track, pre-season or post-season.
Now he's already laying in 18th position.
Again, not finding quite the lines he did yesterday. Where did he start yesterday? Yesterday he was late in the draw as well, wasn't he? So he was 12th away yesterday, and today 20th away.
Even that makes a difference.
Yeah. Speed not bad at the bottom. But maybe too many errors creeping in. And this is a little bit of a kind of pre-Olympic feel, because you're racing the 4-man and then you're racing the 4-man again the next day. So it's good to have one good day, but you know you've got 2 more heats to go in the games. You've got to go back out and just do the same again.
Yeah, that's a good practice. We normally just have it once a year with the World Championships or the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
And also for the 4-man, the year is over. When they're done today, the 4-man brakeman, they can go on their Christmas break, as Sigulda just has a 2-man race, or 2 2-man races.
Yeah.
Go again.
Yeah. That was a training run that just appeared in the race itself. All right, 20 sleds down, so our race is full. And at the tail of the field, Jeff Gabwa and Dominik Zarewski of Poland. So who is going to make the cut? For the remaining 6 sleds, go fast or go home. Lee Chun-jan, Ding Song, Yi Jae-leng and Ren Cheng Sang. And Ding Song joining the crew in for Jiang Miao-yan, who was at 2 yesterday. So a slight change up. 23rd place yesterday, did not make the second heat. This is his 25th World Cup start in 4-man. Let's see if Lee can make the quarter century pay off. 5:02, nothing wrong with the start.
14th best start, so he has it in his hands to get into the top 20, which will be his main goal for this run.
Especially having not made the cut yesterday. Little drift from 4 to 5.
And going too early onto 5 just makes a 5 hard to steer.
A little bit wavy at 6, wasn't he? And then through the labyrinth, looks quite clean.
But he's already in 19th, 20th position now.
So is he just trying to be too neat and tidy? Ooh. Not a bad 13. Is this enough to push him ahead of Zarewski of Poland? It's going to be close, but not close enough. 50.95, so no second heat for Lee Chun-jan.
And he lost a lot of time from 10 on.
Lee and Sun were really close. They were rarely more than one position apart in the races last year. 21st in Cortina, missed the cut. 14th in Innsbruck, fine. 23rd yesterday, missed the cut, and he's missed the cut again today. It's not been a great season, has it?
No.
If this was the post-Olympic year, you'd be going, yeah, we're rebuilding and whatever.
But this is a season that counts now.
Yeah, and this is where your confidence takes a hit. If you're not even making the second heat, well, for a start, you have one run less experience every weekend. And that's going to be slightly the same here. Mihai Tentea of Romania didn't make the cut yesterday. They've moved bodies around. Mihai Pacianu moves from 4 to 3 as Georg Iordache comes in for Andrei Nika. So yesterday they finished tied for 21st. 5:08 getaway.
18th best start time out of 22 sleds.
Well, we know he can drive a sled. Start time might be just enough to stay in there. 3,700s back. Still 18th on the splits. This is going to be very nervous for all the coaches, isn't it, watching this?
But he really let it fly in curve 10. He's 15th best speed.
Yeah, he's making it more likely. Comes nicely out of 13 as well. Well judged to try and keep the speed alive. Little nudge, 15 to 16, he's in, 50.56. Is that enough? 2 sleds behind him.
The coaches are happy for now.
Yeah. 200s ahead of Timo Rona. Jeff Gabwa is in 20th. Zarevsky and Lee do not get a second heat, but Tentea might.
Here we can see the nice wave in 10. A bit high at the exit, but still managed to go okay into 11.
Yeah, lots of runners in the air on the back of the sled. But 13 came out nicely.
Yeah, we can see the sled moving in the super slow-mo, so the sleds built of carbon fiber have to get all these forces into it.
All right, in at the moment in 18th place. Frank Del Duca was chatting to him last night. He said it felt like a 12th place day, not a 21st place day yesterday. He is really struggling to figure out why it doesn't work this year. 13th and 10th and 21st his races on this track. So yesterday was nowhere near where he expects to be. 5:01.
Yeah, he was another victim of these super close times.
Yeah, and late ice as well means the track's not maybe quite as quick as it was, and not quite is all the difference between being in and being out.
It looked like a good top part, but he's still struggling to get that time going down.
Yeah, timing 6 to 7 wasn't great.
You can see all these tiny corrections where he tries to get the back end catched up.
Speed isn't great either. 17th on the splits. Didn't make the cut in Innsbruck. Didn't make the cut yesterday. Just ahead of Mihai Tentea at the line, 19th, 18th, just ahead of Tentea. In fact, he's not, he's tied, isn't he? Tied to the 100th with Mihai Tentea, and that means Jeff Gabwa. And this, I mean, this is tough, isn't it? Either you're not in or you bump your teammate out. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's just the way it breaks. I'm not sure Frank was overjoyed with that run either.
He will now get his focus on having a good start number in second run if he makes it, but I think he'll make the cut. It's just 3 sleds remaining.
Yeah, I think he should. You can never tell, but I think he should. And that, you know, if he makes the second heat and then turns this around and breaks that.
Someone's making bets and we're keep tying. We do like each other. Let's tie higher up.
Let's tie higher. Yeah, there you go. Let's tie for 10th, not 20th or 18th. Now, what about Jakob Mandebauer, your teammate? 18th place here yesterday. First cut he's made this season. Adam Wiener in for Diane Nichols-Bardi, Dominik Hanschitz, and Daniel Birchler moves over from Marcus Treichel's crew to try and boost that start.
It's the first World Cup this season for Adam Wiener too.
5:08.
he will need a good run with that. And regarding the ice.
Well, Tintea started 5:08 as well 2 sleds ago, so maybe we'll get a 3-way tie with Tintea.
That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
View. Bit early on to 7. She sits already in just with 23rd speed.
Yeah.
He was in front of Treichel in yesterday's first run.
Yes, he was. He had a really good first run yesterday. I don't think this is quite of the same standard. Just a fraction late everywhere.
Yeah, the run's a bit off, and the start time was 600s, I think, slower than yesterday's first run. He will not be happy with that.
No.
So does Wolfie, our head coach.
So 21st in Cortina, 22nd in Innsbruck, made the cut, finished 18th yesterday. Markus Treichel did overhaul him in the second heat, but
Yeah, it's just the Chinese Li behind them.
Yep.
And Jakob's fighting for that Olympic qualification. It's just about the overall points.
Yep, trying to get a second sled for the nation. Not everybody gets 2 sleds. Top nations get 3. Next group get 2. And everybody else fighting for single spots. So
He will do better, sorry, in Sigula, in the 2-man. He's more of a strong start there.
He's kicking the wall there. He's not a happy man, very annoyed with himself. Now, what about Czech Republic's Matej Bohenek? 24th yesterday with Michal Doš and Andrei Rupp and Antonin Vijas, the same foursome. And they'll be looking for just a whisker faster at the start. 5:07. Okay, 100th faster than Mihai Tintea. 18th, 19th at the start, out to 20th on the splits.
Mihai Tintea just being way more experienced than Bohenek.
Yeah. Tintea in his 30th 4-man World Cup, Matej in his 13th. So that's 3 seasons pretty much.
You can see the difference here. There's just like minor skids here and there.
Double tap as he comes out of 13. Little brush with the wall between 14 and 15. Across the line, not quite close enough. 50.74, so he's ahead of Jakob Mandelbauer. He's ahead of Lee Chun-jan, who currently is 25th out of 25 sleds. Not what the Chinese would have been hoping for at all.
Also for the Chinese, it's everything to gain points for the qualification.
Yep. They've only got 2 sleds in World Cup, and they need to try and get both of them into the games.
They got a hit before 13.
Now, at least the sled went on nicely, came off pretty clean. Again, you see the violence of the hit there. The push bars on the far side get flicked out. I mean, they're not locked in place, but they do sort of sit down on a spring. Final sled then is Israel's Adam Edelman, Menachem Chen, Omar Katz and Ward Fawazi. They are the same foursome that started yesterday's race, Israel's first ever appearance in Bobsleigh World Cup.
Adam had a 2nd place in North America's Cup in Whistler.
He did indeed. Yeah, silver medal a few weeks ago.
It takes him long to get in there. 2018
Olympian for Israel in skeleton and started bobsleigh in 2021.
5:25, which is 100ths faster than the fastest girls went today. So he will really have to pull some lines off here to qualify.
Yeah. But again, it's about trying to persuade the Israeli Federation to back the team. They've earned the right to compete at the World Cup, and so why wouldn't you?
Of course, it's good to have more sleds in here.
Yeah. Sled rented from the Latvians.
He'll do the same next week in Sigulda.
Don't be gentle, it's a rental. 51.48. All right, so no second heat for Adam Edelman and the crew. But they have put their name in the history books. The first Israeli 4-man crew in World Cup history. So we've had a couple of firsts, haven't we? Had Portugal with their first ever four-man World Cup race in Cortina. Their only previous top-flight bobsleigh appearance was in the 88 Calgary Games.
That's quite a time in between.
It's been a while, yeah, absolutely. So part of the cool running story that nobody knows is that not only were the Jamaicans not the only Caribbean team, because Trinidad and Tobago were there as well, but Portugal, an equally unlikely winter sporting nation, perhaps. All right, so that is our 26 sleds down and done. And Johannes Lochner, yesterday's gold medalist, has the lead of the race. And as with Laura Nolte this morning in the women's race, it's not a tiny lead either, 22 hundredths. He could tidy that run up. Mind you, so could his rivals. Francesco Friedrich was not the sweetest down the run. So the battle is on. Yesterday, it was a German podium sweep, and it shows the signs of potentially being the same. But Brad Hall, Patrick Baumgartner, definitely within striking distance of bronze. Chris Horn not far away either. And Renas Grantins, Latvia have got a real young star on their hands. He's ahead of the tie between Treichel and Kim. Mickey Vogt just ahead of Dave Wesselink. And don't forget, the Dutch need 9th place at least to guarantee one of their 2 qualifying results for the year. 20th place, Timo Rona will be first off in the second heat, and the remaining 6 crews will be able to watch from trackside, and so can you. We will be back at 1500 local, 1400 GMT, 0900 Eastern for the final sled run down the ice here. 33 minutes. You can get the kettle on now, but don't forget to join us in half an hour.